So the football game's about to start back up.
Yeah, what are they having
Yeah,
some kind of like
hey,
monsoon there that they
I said on
actually?
social media, if you are bored and waiting on the weather delay, jump in on Dukes of Blather here live. Let's talk a little bit. How are you guys doing?
I'm good.
I'm good. Just got back from Six Flags.
Yeah, how's Six Flags?
It was insane. There was more people at Fright Night than I have ever seen.
Oh, okay. They've started Fright Night already.
Yeah,
I guess so. Man, I keep forgetting like Halloween's around the corner. Like I just said something
it's,
about it.
it's like in 2 weeks. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Have you ever done a Fright Fest over at Six Flags, Scott?
I've been a few times when I was younger, high school, and they're always fun.
The only thing I think I enjoy there is the Monster Plantation ride.
Well, it's a classic. I thought they took it out, but then I heard that
it's still there.
It's still there.
They shall. I think that's in the Constitution. They shall.
Maybe they just renovated it.
All I can think about is how disgusting that water is. You know, it never gets replaced. I'm like, that water's got.
All I can think about is the guy at the end. Don't go into the swamp.
You know, you're going.
You're going.
You're going.
And
you know, as soon as that's said, you're going.
You know how there's no option to go anywhere else. Like,
the track only goes that way.
Goes that way.
Where else are we gonna go? No, don't go over there. You're like, well, I would love to go over here, but there's no track that takes me there. So yeah, Six Flags. Man, I haven't been in a long time. How was it?
It was way too busy. Like, it was an hour wait for. There was a 30-minute wait for the mine train. If that puts anything into perspective of how bad it was, crazy. It was not worth it.
Huh?
I mean, is it ever really worth it when it's all said and done? I mean, it's like going to Disney World, man. I mean, I know people love Disney World, but honest to God, I mean, you go, you spend all that money to go, and it's like you're going to be in line for 45 minutes to ride something. I mean, we were talking about this last week, but and then the money you spend to like speed it up, like, oh yeah, you can do it quicker, but you just have to spend $1,500. It's like, that's insane to me. You know, you probably need like 4 days at Disney World to really get to do everything, right? And each day's going to cost
like
you
all
money.
the different parts. Yeah, Six Flags isn't quite that bad. I mean, I paid $40 for season passes this year, so
isn't it always like it's cheaper to buy the season pass?
It's cheaper to buy the season pass than it is.
Yeah, I used to get a season pass for like $20-something.
No, you used to be able to do it with a Coke can, remember?
And the Coke cans are always good deals, 2 for 1.
Yeah, I remember going one year. It was like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome, and looked at the prices, and it was like, I don't remember, it's like 55 or something, but it was like $40 for the season pass, and I was like, okay, so you buy a season pass, get your picture taken, wait on this card to print out. Back in the day, I don't know what they do now, Wick, but then it was like, all right, so I'll never be back again. What was the point of all of that? You know, I don't
know. They took out the sky buckets, and I don't know. It's like a era has passed. I blame myself.
Politics.
You think they took?
Were y'all hoping to smoke something while y'all are in the sky buckets?
I had a pipe and some pipe tobacco, but that's like every year you go, and it's kind of like the McFlurry machine at McDonald's. Like, it's always broken anyway.
Yeah.
And and you're like, well, why isn't it working? And they're like, oh, we don't know. And you knew, it was just going to be a matter of time until it was just no more.
Did they take it out because people were smoking pot up there?
I don't know. I guess it just wasn't. I don't know. Nobody was ever on them. They were always.
It was a good way to get across the park.
Yeah, it was, especially up that hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. Like it's like you run the sky bucket. Does that ever get boring? I mean, it's always
I enjoy
entertaining
it.
to be in the sky bucket,
You know,
dude.
it's like all the gentlemen's rides are they're just disappearing. Like they're getting rid of the sky buckets. The log flume is always closed. I enjoy
Don't
the
tell
log
me the
closed?
flume.
antique cars. Don't tell me they pull the antique cars out of there, man.
I think they're still there.
That's how I learned how to drive. Was on an antique car track at Six Flags, just
That you
bumping
can't veer
the
off
rail
of.
back and forth. Yeah,
Bumping
I don't
into
even
that
think those
rail.
things steered.
With
I don't even think they
no,
steered. I just think they just followed the track, and the steering wheel was like pointless.
yeah, but it was
Just like,
fun when you were a kid. And I mean,
oh man,
you
yeah,
thought you
because you
were
could gas
Andretti,
those things, dude. Just floor them and get up to about 7 miles an hour.
then slam into
That
the
was
person in front of you, and you
slam
can't
into
take
the
the
person's bumper in front of you
yeah,
every time it stopped.
all
Wow,
the
man,
all the
every
shit you
time.
can't do in real life.
Right?
So
It's like
have they taken?
how many people in Georgia learned how to drive from the antique cars at Six Flags? I bet you'd be
Evidently,
surprised.
all of them.
Yeah, the
All of
first
them.
time I went to Six Flags, that's the first thing I did because it's right there on the right
Yeah.
when you go in.
As soon as you go in, yeah. What's your favorite? Okay, so you went. What was your favorite ride before you became an adult, and is it the same now that you've gone back?
No, it
What was your
was
favorite ride before you were an adult?
well, probably the Mind Bender.
Yeah.
Which is still a good roller coaster. It's still
And now it's
oh, Goliath.
the carnival area.
Now it is it is the log flume and the sky buckets.
Yeah, which aren't there anymore, so they've
So
completely
what am I
screwed
left
you.
to do?
Right.
I don't remember
Uh,
a favorite ride. I liked Free Fall.
Free fall
Free
was
fall
cool.
was nuts.
It just
Yeah,
it's
Free
the
Fall
only
was
ride
nuts.
that scared me every time.
Free fall was scary.
Because you think this is the time it's going to break. It's going to break on the way down this time.
Yeah, and there were always like these false stories about other free falls at other parks that were they just went off the end
Yeah.
of the rail into
It's just-
oblivion. Yeah.
I feel like
It's
there
such a
was a
simple
movie
ride.
where that happened, like one of the Final Destination movies.
Probably.
Probably so, yeah.
That made me think of a
Um,
roller coaster.
Love the mine train, man. As I got to be an older adult, a bigger guy, jumped in the Scream Machine. They those seats are a lot smaller than they used to be, and clamped that bar down across my man hunky
Scream Machine
thighs.
oof.
And I wasn't even fully sitting down. I was basically crouching because the size of human beings has grown since I was, 7. And man, I was on for a ride. And I was like, I'm so scared to death I'm going to fly out of this thing because they didn't bolt this down all the way.
No,
But that was a rough ride, dude. I mean, that
it
thing used
still
to
is.
slam the
I
hell
won't
out
even
of you.
ride that. No, I won't even.
God.
So
And then people
bad.
ride it backwards for a little while. I'm like,
I think they're going to get rid of the mine train though,
oh, really?
because Splashwater Falls is gone. All that's left is like the kind of pool area of it. But they actually
Wait a minute.
Splash
So
Water Falls is
Yeah,
the raft ride, like the water,
not Thunder
park, like,
River.
where you-
No, remember Splashwater
Okay,
Falls where you go
It just
up
goes
and-
like up and then around a curve and then it goes down a really steep hill.
yeah, it sucks.
And it gets you really wet.
Yeah, and
It lasts a minute.
it's gone, and I think there's a lot of real estate right there because it was right next to the mine. I mean we just said it, the mine train, and
It's right next to oh my god, the whitewater rafting ride,
Thunder River.
Thunder River.
No, it's
Thunder
across from there. It's right across from with the sky buckets.
Yeah.
The
Okay, sky
at the
buckets are on the
top
other
of
side.
the top of the hill. Yeah, so that's just a lot of prime real estate that I'm sure they're going to turn into like a new coaster.
Yeah. I mean, they got to keep it popping. They got new people coming in all the time. I haven't been in so long. I dread the day my kids want to go. I really do. I don't
I
want to
love
go.
it. I gotta say,
Really?
well, I love roller coasters, but I hate humanity. So it's tough. You got to go on the right day.
Yeah. probably during
Acrophobia is
the
good.
weekend.
Did you ride
You gotta go
Acrophobia?
back.
I won't ride Acrophobia because
Why?
another one of those. Somebody got their foot lopped off on one. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, not on the one in Six Flags, but apparently another one. I don't know.
That's the scariest ride there now. And yeah,
Are you weird about carnival rides too?
Yeah, very. I don't know.
I am too. I won't ride carnival rides for nothing, dude.
I don't want. I don't want
Do you
to
like
see
them,
my.
Scott?
Hmm?
Do you like carnival rides, like the county carnival rides?
I
Or are you
usually
pretty
think
weary
they're
of
boring. But
You
I'll
want 'em to
ride
bring
any
the
one of
heat.
them. I ride them all. I don't
Okay.
think twice about it.
I like Gravitron.
Yeah, you want them to bring the heat. Yeah.
Mm.
Scott likes
There
to
was
be
the
in
one
danger.
that's like the big wheel that spins really fast. And I think you
The
end up
Ferris
like
wheel?
Vomiting.
I don't remember. It's like the wheelie, which I think the wheelie's gone now too at Six Flags.
Yeah, that's they put those new swings there. The really that's kind of fun actually. The really really tall swings.
Oh, really?
That's like 15 stories high. Yeah, that's fun.
Only thing I cared about, man, back in the day was getting myself a Van Halen mirror or a Motley Crue mirror from the carnival like game section.
Oh yeah, the cocaine mirrors.
I used to have, yeah,
and
then they had
the
roach
roaches
clips,
with
feather
the
roach clips.
feathers, roach clips.
Yeah, feather roach clips, man. I had like 50 of those. Had no idea what they were for.
I know.
And they would just hang off. I just hung them off the bed, my bedpost.
I mean,
know,
I had like my whole bedroom was drug paraphernalia. It was just like because I had a Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Iron Maiden, and I think a Dio mirror.
Right,
and
that you snort cocaine off of hanging on
No,
your wall, and then you got the spray painted cowboy hat with all the roach clip feathers hanging off of it, like you were Brett Michaels or something.
Yeah, I think he works for the fair now.
I don't know, man. I think he's still got money. You know, they still tour and stuff.
He actually does. Yeah, he's got money.
He tours by himself now.
I don't know about CC DeVille, but Brett Michaels is doing okay.
Yeah, I saw something where like they did some kind of thing where they went out to his house to like interview him, and his house is freaking stellar, dude. It's like in the desert, I guess maybe like Arizona, and it's freaking
Brett Michaels or CC DeVille.
Brett Michaels.
Yeah, I'm sure
his house is beautiful.
You'd be surprised how much money these. I mean, even like the most D-list celebrity can make off their name. Just it's crazy.
It's weird because for some reason I was reading about Scott Weiland, and they were talking about his estate and how there's a big fight over it right now, and he's like broke. There's like nothing there. Like the ex-wife claims that there's like $2 million. The current widow is like there's not anything there because he had 2 divorces, which took half of all of his money. And you got to think probably
and
like
rehabs.
what Stone Temple Pilots probably make off that. I mean, 3 albums were pretty solid albums as far as sales. I think they kind of went stale after a while. So maybe, like, 30, 40 million. Probably making each band member's probably making 3 million off album sales. So probably like 10 million for that, maybe a couple million off a tour, like 2 or 3. And then you get taxes, right? You're going to pay a crap load of taxes on that, like 40%. And then you get divorced,
and then
you have a drug problem.
And then rehab, because he was in and out of rehab.
Rehabs, yeah.
And that will.
So now they're saying he's broke. He's broke, but then I was listening to Duff
He's celebrity
McKagan's
broke though.
Well, no, I think Scott Weiland's really broke. Like, I think that's why he was touring, why he was screwed up, because he just could not afford not to. But then I was listening to Duff McKagan's book, and of course, I think they, some of these guys handle their money way better. I mean, they invest it and let people handle it. But apparently, Guns N' Roses did not get screwed in their deal whatsoever, because he was talking about that in his book. How he was saying, I didn't even know how to read our financial statement. I didn't even know how much money we had after like 4 albums. They did, Appetite.
Well, they had
EP, and then they did
didn't they have David Geffen? I mean,
yeah, Geffen.
Yeah, Geffen. I mean, that is, if you're a musician, that's the dude you want to be with.
GNR
Or-
Lies, and then they had the
Yeah.
Illusions 1 and 2 albums. And he was like, and this was after he was out of Guns N' Roses. He's like, I had no idea how to read financial statements. And he said he took them to his brother, one of his brothers. He comes from the big family. His book's really good, by the way. And took it to his brother, who was a financial advisor. And he was like, dude, I don't even know how to read these. Like, I don't know if we got ripped off. Because he was like, I was totally expecting that when my brother looked at it, he was going to be like, dude, like, you got cleaned. But he was like, I was shocked that there was millions of dollars in my accounts. And he was like, I didn't know how to read financial statements from the band. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just had money in an account that was coming in and I just spent it, but I didn't know where money was coming from or what was owed. But he said Giffen and that whole record company in the record deal took care of everything. They made sure their taxes were paid and everything. He was like, I was really shocked. But he said, dude, we really made a ton of money.
There's a documentary, I think, on Netflix, Being David Geffen, and that dude is a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you're a musician, I mean, you couldn't do better than having David Geffen represent you.
Yeah, which is odd because usually those guys are the first ones to get their claws into somebody.
Well, yeah, and then, but I mean, I love when that happens, though, when somebody is, a real person and, conducts themselves with some kind of integrity, and then they wind up being huge in the end.
Yeah.
Because they don't take dives for short end money.
Yeah.
Their reputation, having a sterling reputation will bring you way more success in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, some of those guys took care of themselves, man. I'll never know what kind of money that is. I tried to play this $500 million lotto Powerball thing and won $4. That was it. But I wish I had that kind of money. Anyway, I know who's probably going to be out of money soon is Urban Meyer. What did you guys think about Urban Meyer? Scott, I didn't ask you. Did you see everything with Urban Meyer partying at the club with this girl? And
I did not. I don't know really much about it. I do know that there's something in the news about Urban Meyer. That's about it, though.
Yeah. He basically they lose. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, Wick. They have a Thursday night game. They lose the Thursday night game pretty badly. And instead of flying home with the team, was it the Browns? It was Cincinnati. Of course, he coached at Ohio State. That's what he's Florida and Ohio State, but his last tenure was Ohio State, where a lot of his kids ended up forming their lives in Ohio. So I kind of got it. The team flew back. It was a Thursday game. They're not going to play for like 10 days. He's decided to stay an extra day or two in Ohio to visit family. But that's not what he did. He went to his restaurant in Columbus and got caught on video. First of all, the first video came out. So let's just talk about the first one. So the first video comes out, and it's him sitting there on a stool with this blonde girl in leather pants grinding all over him.
And his hands are between his legs, so you don't know what his hands are doing as she's grinding on his nether bits.
Right.
He has a restaurant. This is happening in a restaurant or a bar?
Yeah, he has two restaurants in Columbus, and this was one of them, the Pint House, I believe, which has a bar. Yeah. Then he's got a steakhouse, which is extremely expensive.
And after that game, he gave that's at the press conference, he made a speech that almost sounded like a farewell speech.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Or
I did.
Does not sound like he planned on being in Jacksonville very long.
I think he planned on, hey man, I'm getting fired. This is great. Because Jacksonville's been hell for him. I don't think he was cut out for NFL position. I didn't think it was a good hire at all. I thought it was I thought it was Jacksonville. Jacksonville is, I'm not a fan of Jacksonville as a town. I mean, I don't even know how they got an NFL franchise. Honestly, I really don't.
You're talking about
a town. It's a town of people from everywhere else that is like the white trash areas of the rest of the country. So, backwoods people all moved to Jacksonville, and it's just like this. I'm sorry. I'll probably lose people from this, but Jacksonville, for the most part, is just filled of white trash transients, basically.
That's Bruce Campbell. Well, not Bruce Campbell, but Ash, the character's favorite place on the planet.
Well, there's a point to that. It's a very white trash. It's a nice city. I've been there for the Georgia, Florida, cocktail party. It's a nice place, but you go hang out, and it's just a bunch of hillbillies, and move into a city, and the closest city is Jacksonville, and it's kind of this in between land of just whatever. I try to. This is how I can say it. I tried to describe to my wife about people from Jacksonville. And she was like, whatever, kind of rolled her eyes. Yeah. And then we went to Savannah, and we went on a haunted like walk or whatever they call it, tour.
Mm-hmm.
And here came this rowdy group of about 12 just trash, drunk idiots coming down the curb. And I was like, here we go. Please don't go part of it. Sure enough, here's our ghost stop. This is where we're going to do ghost hunting. And comments the whole time, couldn't keep their mouth shut. And as they're going through,
they've actually brought guns to go hunt ghosts.
Right. As we're going through the where are you from, what's your name? Hey, Sam, Emily, we're from Atlanta. Well, everybody says Atlanta. Blah, blah, blah. Group of 12. The most annoying people on the planet. Jacksonville, baby. Jacksonville. And I was like, and I looked at my wife, and she was like, okay, you win.
J-Town bitches.
I'm telling you, man. Like, it's just a gathering of white trash, man. Jacksonville. Sorry. I mean, it is. I'm sure. I don't care.
That's where we went to Valdosta.
My people are South American. I don't care what people in Jacksonville think of us. But it is. I don't care.
I remember we were in Valdosta, and we would go when we went to the beach. We'd just head to Jacksonville. Just wanted to see the beach for some odd reason.
I don't think
when we got to the beach, the road just ended into a big pile of sand, and then we climbed over that, and there's the beach.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nobody's on it.
Like nobody's on. It was probably like 3:00 in the morning. But yeah.
I went to Jacksonville twice, and I don't remember. One time I was, I'd been partaking in the festivities, and the other time was with you. That night we drove up there at like midnight.
Yeah.
But I don't think I ever really. The second trip I went with, when I went with another friend, I got a good whiff of the redneck atmosphere there.
Culture.
It was.
It's rough, man. So anyway, Urban Meyer's got to go from his.
And I say that with all due respect, because I'm 2 generations removed from field hands on one side of the family, and Appalachian bootleggers on the other.
Well, I come from a land of hillbillies too, but you kind of grow up and you kind of learn respectfulness and things over time. Some people are just stuck in a very old way of thinking. And oh man, it was the worst ghost tour because they would not shut up. Every time somebody said something, look, there's a ghost right there, and you're just like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like that. Like,
was there a ghost?
I mean, no. You're like, you're such an idiot.
Yeah.
Turn around, there's a ghost there.
It was like,
holy shit, he's right.
It's like, this is where some Civil War soldier was. I can smell the death around me. Can you smell it, Margot? You're just like, God almighty.
No,
dude,
that's just Margot.
God, can we just watch? Just listen to this. It's really
Let me smell. I'll smell it.
Diane, remember that time we went to Panama City and we thought our hotel was haunted? That's what this reminds me of right here. Like,
did you ever see?
Stop.
I forget. It was the 30 Rock episode. It was during the 2012 election, and the whole election came down to the Panhandle in Panama City in that area, because nobody knew which political direction parrot heads leaned.
It's like Buffett's a Democrat, but yet they live
they're like,
rich
are they
Republicans.
Democrats or Republicans? We have no idea. And so that's what decided the election.
That's hilarious. No, but Urban Meyer goes to Jacksonville, and I don't know what he was thinking. He really should have flown down and visited first. But NFL money, man. I mean, I think that's what it was. It was money. It was a paycheck. It was good money for him to go down there, leave his comfortable, cozy life in Ohio,
Get away
where
from
he
his
was a
family,
king.
which he seems at want to do.
Yeah,
What was the second video?
So the second video, well,
It was even
okay.
worse. Yeah,
So
it was
let's
like-
just say this: Sunday night, my man probably gets this information, and his wife's on Twitter. So Sunday, this thing is just circulating everywhere. Okay. I know my man Sunday was like, listen, from the video, this is exactly the way I go with this. And I don't care if anybody says this is not what you say. My thing is, listen, I was drinking. Yes, this girl was all over me a little bit. Doesn't really happen to me, but let's just pretend. And it was just an awkward situation. And very shortly after that video you see, I got up and moved. I was just like, I'm not comfortable. This is awkward for me. I'm sure that's what Urban Meyer went for, right? I mean,
the second
there.
video comes out.
Yeah, right. And that's what I'm building up to, because I know that he was a pro. Because the second video didn't come out till later.
Because the hands are very suspect in the first video.
They are, but I mean, you don't know what he's doing in a spousal explanation.
He's not twiddling his thumbs. I can assure you of that.
He could have easily said, "Look, that's a 7-second video. Look at everybody I'm around. Everybody knows who I am." It was awkward and uncomfortable for a minute, and I very shortly after that video, I excused myself, and that's when we were getting ready to go. And I know that's what my man did. The problem is that the second video came out like 48 hours after that. And the second video, she's standing there, and he basically puts his finger up her butt and rubs on her private area, and then kind of rubs himself on her kind of like on her thigh. And it was like, my man is dead in the water. There's no way you get out of that one. And I told my wife, and I was like, all right. So I set it up with my wife, and I was like, all right, so here's video one. Pretend this is me. Somebody sends you this. Where are we at? She's like, oh, I'm pissed. In the first one, she was like, I'm really pissed. I said, but I'm explaining to you, hey, look, this was at 3 seconds, probably like 30 seconds after this is going on. I'm up and I've left because I feel uncomfortable and awkward in the situation. The girl wouldn't leave me alone. I'm famous. If I'm Urban Meyer, everybody knows me in Ohio. It was my bar that we're at. I got up and moved. She was like, okay, I'm probably believing you because I want to believe you. And I was like, all right, now here's the second video. What happens here? And she was like, oh, we're in like nuclear level 30 right now. At this point, there's no way you're getting out of that. DEFCON 5. You're not getting out of this one. So it was pretty bad, Scott. I mean, it did not put him in a good light. He was already somebody that people felt was a very untrustworthy person in the first place. And then this other video comes out that I don't know if you guys saw it or not. I think I sent it to you.
The Bong video?
The Bong video where he was doing an interview. This was probably 5 years ago, maybe. He was doing an interview with the Big Ten Network, and he's on a boat, and behind him is a mirror. And in that reflection of that mirror is the front door of the boat cabin. And he's just talking on his phone, doing an interview on live television about COVID. Oh, it must have been like last year then, because it was about COVID, what teams are going to have to do about COVID and all this other stuff. All of a sudden, you see this like dude with no shirt on come into the room, close the door, kind of stare at him, and he's got something in his hand. And you're like, what the world is going on? And then the dude, kind of goes where you really can't see him. Like he's in Urban Meyer's reflection.
He steps in front of Urban Meyer, which takes him out of the reflection of the mirror.
And all you hear is the lighter flick, click, 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 and then Urban Meyer's like, no, go, no, no.
It's so awesome. And then he's like, no. And then he tries to put like the happy Urban Meyer face
He's
for
like-
him. And then he goes again.
Wait, the guy comes in and smokes crack.
He's probably just
You
smoking
hear
the
this?
grass.
You hear this over the phone?
It's just a bong.
Uh,
Yeah, he's like,
And all I can think of is that, you know what? He's probably a snake in the grass. He probably is a piece of crap. But you know what? I bet this dude's pretty fun to hang out with. I mean, it's just like keep your distance, but he's
You
the
know
most
what?
profiled person in the group,
I mean, it's not like we don't know people that have issues that like to
Sure.
smoke grass and womanize, for God's sakes.
Listen, it times 1,000 when you're famous. I mean, it really times 1,000.
I mean, what's really disconcerting is he's not bright enough to not think people are filming him in his own restaurant.
I mean, he's blitzed because there's some pictures of him early on. I mean, he is squinty-eyed, can barely see blitzed. So I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying that I think he just was gone. But, I'm a big proponent that drunk thoughts, drunk words bring sober thoughts. So he's probably that kind of person. It just the alcohol allowed him to act on it. You know what I mean? Kind of broke some barriers down.
Yeah.
But it also says that probably sober in a situation where he doesn't think he'd ever get caught, he would do the same thing. You know what I mean? Now, some people were saying that he was groping and sexually, people got into that whole spiel of trying to.
No,
say
that's not even. That's not even
that-
the issue.
Because I asked my wife, I said, is she
No.
throwing the green light? And my wife said, yeah, absolutely. She has thrown the green light by the rubbing on him and all that. She's telling him, we're good to go. If you want it, we got it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can't do that whole thing. I think that.
That's
social media
stupid.
getting stupid. Yeah.
The issue is he's being an idiot.
Yeah.
And not realizing he's a head football coach in the NFL, and people have these now,
I mean, hey, and the video with the bong, he's on his phone doing a video interview. And maybe he doesn't think that he's going to be seen on camera when he's telling the guy, no. But I mean, it's kind of obvious that maybe he's just not that smart when it comes to social media and things around him and all of this.
Dude, I just because they're great coaches does not mean they're brilliant people. Sometimes they are, but
well,
not
and
always.
You know what? Sometimes they're great coaches because they're willing to do things that a lot of coaches are like, no, dude, that's not for me. Like hide murders and hide, you know what I mean? And
well,
not that he did that, but you know what I mean. He definitely hid Aaron Hernandez's issues,
Yeah, Aaron Hernandez's
he
issues were buried. There was the issue at Ohio State with what the assistant coach, and then Urban Meyer just came out and flat out lied. But I did not like
leaving Florida because of medical issues. When he knew that Florida was I don't know if you read the article, but there's an article out there about how it's basically named how Urban Meyer broke Florida. And it's about how Florida went into the tailspin because Urban left because of the culture he let happen there. And he got the hell out of Dodge because he knew it gotten out of control, which is basically letting players do whatever they want. And special players got special treatment and other players didn't. And if you were in the top, they said Percy Harvin was a piece of crap on that team as far as choking coaches, like shoving them, telling him he's not going to run. They said they had to run stairs one time at Florida. And Percy Harvin sits down and says, this is stupid. I'm not doing it anymore. And instead of getting in trouble, they were like, all right, we don't run stairs anymore.
All right. On the flip, can you imagine saying that to Nick Saban?
Or any, a lot of
coaches. Nick Saban is just the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
but
I don't think most coaches would allow that.
I don't think so. Not winning coaches. But I mean, he is a winning coach. And I mean, he's got the national championships to back up his play. And some would consider, if you take all the personal issues out of it, Urban Meyer is one of the top coaches of all time. It's an argument that can be made, but it's just how he goes about doing it that's just unethical. And then he knew Florida was going to suck when Tebow, which it makes it weird that all this was going on with Tebow, because it just seems like
that
Tebow would be like, "Hey man, no, you're going to run those stairs." Like, it just seems weird.
I like Tebow. I don't think Tebow's terribly bright.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Or he's very naive, but
or he doesn't question his coach. Maybe that's his thing. There's some guys that are like that. They're dedicated.
But
like whatever coach thinks is fine.
I did not like when Urban Meyer brought Tebow back to Jacksonville. I thought that he was manipulating him, and I don't know if in his own mind, in Urban Meyer's own mind, he thought he was manipulating him. He might have, was some kind of process that made him think he was doing him a favor. But there's no way a guy at 34 years old has been out of the league for 7 or 8 years can learn a new position and play. It can't be done.
Well, and you know what? At this point, they've got one quarterback. And if you wanted to bring Tim Tebow in and let him be a backup quarterback, I don't think anybody would have had one issue for that. No, that's where he's from. I mean, Tebow is from Jacksonville. The fact Jacksonville didn't draft him blew me away, because he's it's his home. He would have brought some people into the seats when he got drafted. I don't even know who was quarterback at Jacksonville. I can promise you.
Just like the Atlanta Falcons should have traded up and gotten Calvin Johnson.
Sure. Absolutely.
Carry on.
Yeah. You bring people to the seats. They want to see a hometown boy.
Yeah.
And so I was really shocked. So if they wouldn't bring him in for a backup quarterback, I'd have been like, that makes perfect sense. I think he's
tight end.
Tight end.
He just kind of
felt and Tebow looked like an idiot out there.
It was
stupid out there trying to play tight end. He couldn't block. I mean, he was whiffing. That's blocks. A position that takes a lot of years to be really good at, because you have to learn blocking schemes. And there was just pointless. I mean, drafting a running back in the first round was stupid. I mean, I don't know. But, I kind of wonder, with all this controversy going on, is Urban Meyer wanting to get fired? Like, it's like, okay, cool, I can get out of this thing and maybe go to USC or Nebraska or something like that, which I don't think
USC will. I don't think USC will have him. USC got burnt by Pete Carroll, who was.
Hey, you know what? I asked this question of my friends. I said, in the college ranks, those of you who don't have 50 rings, so Wick, exclude yourself, would you take Urban Meyer for a guaranteed national championship? I say yes. All day, every day. I don't care if there's an asterisk on it next to that year where it says 2023 Bulldogs asterisk.
Yeah, but then are you going to be that proud of it in 2030?
Yes.
If there's a big asterisk by it.
Look, man, when I remember, I do too. I like Smart a lot, but if you're telling me I get a guaranteed national championship for like 2 out of 4 years, Urban Meyer.
Dude, I'm telling you, we talked about this before. It's not that big of a deal. Honestly, the buzz. It is the first time when Alabama won, actually in '92 with Gene Stallings. The buzz lasts for about 3 or 4 hours. That's it, and it's gone.
I can promise you, the rest of the whole, like if Georgia pulls it off this year, my whole entire 2022. Will be one of the best years of my life, no matter what.
It does not change.
It will be.
No, it doesn't.
It will.
I want you to
call me psycho. It will change mine.
I want you to keep a diary, an honest diary, if they do win the national championship this year, about how you feel on day 4.
Don't worry. I'll tell you what. Just follow my Facebook page. I'll probably put something there on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, back to it.
Is your sound cutting in and out?
Mine's not.
Is your sound cutting in and out when each of you talk?
No.
Like you're cutting out, both of you. Every now and then it'll cut out for a little while. Your screen will freeze up for about 30 seconds.
Might be your Wi-Fi, but
it's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's you. It's not us. It's you. I don't know. It's working from what I can see. And you look fine too. You're hot.
No.
So Urban Meyer, man. So do you think he keeps the job? You think he's gone? What do you think?
Yeah,
Scott?
I don't think
you've heard everything now.
I don't think they can keep him, but in Jacksonville, no. No, the NFL won't let them.
I think his contract is ironclad. I think there's no way they can legally. They have to pay him a lot. I don't think. I think they're waiting for him to quit at the end of the year.
The NFL always has like something in the contract that has to do with like your conduct outside of you're always representing the NFL.
I think it's more with players than coaches, though. Coaches don't have that much of a morality clause in their contracts, or it's very murky. So I think they wanted to fire him, but they just could not. They couldn't figure out a way to do it, and it wouldn't have constituted a breach of a morality clause, from what I've read.
I mean, is it a fireable offense? I mean, I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. It's a personal issue. I would not be happy that that's if I was the owner and that's what's representing my team.
I think you probably have fans that are like, "Hey, this is an opportunity to get rid of this guy," but they don't understand the details of contracts.
Right? Like they're gonna be in the hole.
You're gonna be screwed if you do.
But I mean, it's it's kind of their fault. It's not like he had a squeaky clean image going in. They knew what they were hiring.
They did know what they were hiring. They sure did. And I don't know. People don't change. Like they say, you can't change a pine tree into an oak tree. Doesn't work like that. So it's I think they hold on to him. I think they try to make it work out. I think I don't know how many years he has. It won't work. No, of course it won't. But I don't know that Jacksonville cares that much about winning anyway. I think the Urban Meyer hire was to get some attention. I think getting Trevor Lawrence, and I mean Trevor Lawrence is probably the right guy for them. But Urban Meyer wasn't going to be a guy who was going to be able to get Trevor Lawrence to be an NFL quarterback because he's a college coach. I
mean, a lot of these owners, they they're businessmen. They know they don't really have to win to make money.
No, they could never sell a ticket and make money off of the network. And
the profit sharing and it's crazy.
Yeah, they put all that money in a pot and just, God, can you imagine 32 people in a room pot that the NFL makes and everybody just getting their portion would be.
Yeah, I remember reading an article, reading numbers. It's a long time ago, but anyway, it was a year Alabama had won a national championship, and I think the program had made $40 million that year, or $50 million. And Jacksonville had the worst record in the NFL, and they made $300 million.
Yeah,
that's how much money
goes into a pot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy, man. A lot of these owners don't care if they win or lose right now. Or they don't care. Detroit doesn't care if they win or lose. They make money. You know what I mean? The Jets don't care if they win or lose. They make money either way. So kudos to some of those. Houston don't care about winning because they get money. But anyway, so it's, I don't know. I think they're going to be stuck holding on to him, to be honest with you. And I think they're going to be. But, it's between him and his wife, whatever. I mean, hey, look, you don't know what goes on in a private relationship. Maybe she's all good with that. She just has to publicly denounce it. But really, she's like, I don't care. Maybe she's like, hey, man, go get your goods.
You never know.
Some relationships are I think that, dude. Like, you honestly think that you're going to watch a Super Bowl party and you think that they're going to order pizza and wings, and you show up there and there's more people than you thought, and you're putting your keys in a fishbowl the next thing you remember, and things get wild. I mean, it happens, right? I mean, they have swinger parties and maybe they're part of that. It's just a weird, I'm not saying I know.
That would be hilarious
if you go to a party thinking it's
if she's like tweeting, I was kind of aroused by the video.
Right, like,
been there.
Hey, why don't you guys come over? Why don't you and your wife come over for the SEC championship game? Leave your kids, get a babysitter. Why don't you come over and stay the night? I don't know. We never get out. You go, like, all of a sudden, people got a fishbowl with keys in front of you, and they're like, "Put your keys in." You're like, "Wait a minute, what's happening here?" And then things get wild. That's all I can say. I don't know that.
Why is Urban Meyer taking my pants off?
Right. Urban. Walk into a room and there's just Urban.
And why am I
in a
letting
random
him?
house. What? This is interesting. Business just picked up.
Well,
He's hot, so I mean, whatever,
God. He's got like a
he's a good looking guy.
He does have a huge double chin though for a guy that's not fat.
I didn't know where you're going. I didn't know where you're going right there, but I'm glad you went double chin. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do too. So maybe me and Urban,
not like Urban Meyer. No, he's got like old lady, like Mitch McConnell, like.
Oh, he's got a gooseneck.
Yeah.
Or a turkey neck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how two people have their relationship. Listen, I've known a lot of people in my lifetime and found out things later, and you're like, what? I was just hanging out with y'all last Saturday. I didn't know that y'all got into some kind of weird, centipede thing, Thursday night after we left. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. It's just people are weird, man.
You come back because you forgot your wallet, and you're like,
I can honestly, I cannot tell the details of the story, but I can honestly say that it was many years later that I found out that people that I knew were sleeping together, and I was like, what?
Like couples?
We just went to like Shoney's. What do you mean? We went to TGI Fridays. What are you talking about?
What, like couples or like what? Or just like individuals?
Yeah, like couples. And you're just like, what? We were just at Fridays. You know what I mean? Like, I was ordering the mesquite barbecue sandwich, and and then we left because my tummy hurt, and party starts. It's just weird. You're like,
why was I not?
A, why wasn't I invited? And B, why wasn't I ever told? Like, A, I mean, I'm unattractive and untrustworthy. That bothers me tremendously more than everything that happened. Anyway. There's nothing. I mean, being unattractive sucks, but being unattractive and people not trusting you is a whole other thing.
We don't want to have sex with you.
That's right. We don't find you attractive, and we do not trust you to keep a secret. That's how that goes. Anyway.
There's a lot more of those folks out there. God bless them than you imagine.
Than you want to realize.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Scott, are you a William Shatner guy?
I love William Shatner.
I know you do some of the Comic-Con stuff.
Yeah,
what do you think about him
when he was there? But dude, he's hilarious though.
By the way, I want to tell people.
I always enjoy listening to his interviews.
I want to tell people, if you ever have the chance to go to Dragon Con with Scott, take him up on it, because it's.
I haven't been in so long, but yeah.
That was something I really hate. We didn't do a show the week of Dragon Con. And I wanted us to talk about the time we went to Dragon Con, and then I think like something happened and we weren't able to do the show. But me and Wick talked
really, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, man. Well, now you got to do
Memorial Day.
Yeah, now you got to do the whole pass thing and pay like $100 to go to the hotels. But when we went, okay, so this is when my wife and I first got together, and Scott's like, "What were you going to do? Photography or something there?"
I was doing that. I had the same camera Wick has, and
okay.
I had a nice camera.
I'm not sure where that was going, but okay.
And I think I got a press pass for a certain party. For a party,
yeah.
And I took y'all up there, right?
That was that the Ozzy Osbourne party?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was telling Wick about.
He's the one that gave me the press pass. Yeah.
The Ozzy impersonator. Yeah. If you ever have a chance to go, we had so much fun, man. I've never laughed so hard in my life than when Scott and us met up at Dragon Con. We three should go to Dragon Con and do like a show there, just because it's so weird. But anyway.
Oh, it's fun.
So William Shatner.
And you get to mess with the people who are dressing up. They're taking that shit serious. There's the Superman that was walking his dog.
There are that, to me, I'll tell you this. I think it's a huge stress reliever for a lot of people that are of the nerd variety, which I think I would say all three of us are of that variety. We're all nerds in our own way. There's things that we like. Scott likes, certain types of movies. Wick likes to write poetry, and I
like all kinds of movies.
I just like different weird things. Anyway, so I think
we're
all
successful people that aren't like athletes are kind of nerds, though. I think.
Right. We're not 1%.
Not that we're successful,
but we are. We like nerdy things probably. I mean, here we are.
I like super nerdy things.
Guns N' Roses. So anyway,
you would not want to see my library on YouTube. It's
what is going on? This goes from like
sad.
Raising Tomatoes to Superman 1942. This is so strange.
It's like a 3-hour documentary on Samuel Beckett.
He watched
fart
the whole
jokes.
Thing.
He watched the whole thing in one sitting.
What? No, but William Shatner's part of that whole group of Dragon Con sci-fi nerd stuff. And I guess what he's doing is he's going up in a rocket to space. Is that what's going on with him?
He's going up there with Bezos. He's going up there in the giant penis.
Yeah.
Do they know? I mean, do you think that? I mean, what's the point of that?
The point of Elon's trying to actually accomplish something, whereas he feels like he's in a competition amongst
there's
millionaires who are fighting there, to be the first billionaire civilian in space. Bezos got that. Elon hasn't even tried to go up yet.
And Richard Branson got it.
Yeah, he did it actually first, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
But so he's just trying to set like milestones. Like I think somebody's taking Tom Cruise up to film a movie.
Yeah. To Branson's credit, that's the only guy that I really remember. I mean, years ago, talking about wanting to do it. So I'm glad
he was the first to do it. Yeah,
he was really the first guy that was like, I would spend every bit of my fortune to do this.
Oh, he wants to do. He long ago he wanted to do trips to space, like sell seats. And take civilians up. I think he's the first one that mentioned building a hotel up in space.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's a big move towards space tourism. You know what I mean? Like I know we've had this conversation before, but I just don't understand what William Shatner provides to this trip. I don't know what Bezos provides for the trip. I mean, it seems like
it makes no sense.
It doesn't really make any sense because you would think that you would want to put scientists on it and say, hey, I went up the first time. That's cool, man. I felt it was great, but now it's the time for technology to progress and all these things that need to progress for us to go further.
Yeah,
so
but
the people that are going to move points would be very important. Instead, it's like, hey, William Shatner, why don't you come with me? I mean,
it just draws headlines, I guess, that he wants.
Yeah, but wouldn't you like get Harrison Ford or something?
I don't know.
I mean, but even at that, isn't that a waste of time? I mean, it just seems like, hey, this really great Harvard neurospace scientist is going up.
Scientist.
You know what I mean? Like somebody you've never heard of.
What are you?
I'm
something a neurospace scientist.
Right, neurospace and scientist from Harvard's going to go and test theories or something. You know what I mean? Like of how humans can do this in space or whatnot. And
it feels like Bezos. It feels like Bezos is just one publicity stunt after the next, and that's his entire space program.
What is?
Whereas like Elon Musk is actually trying to accomplish things that we can use in society. Things that could progress us to another level.
But don't you think though, like Elon Musk too is looking for a way to financially gain from space travel? I mean, he's got to have some kind of financial and return from it.
I don't know that he is. Most of his money is coming from the government, I think, as far as launching. Yeah. But he's taking things to the International Space Station for NASA and things like that.
What is he taking for them?
I heard the
I don't
Sonic
know, just
Boom the other day
supplies,
when
things
it
like
came
that.
to Earth.
Slim Jims.
Slim Jims. Ramen noodles. Gotta have some ramen noodles.
But as far as profiting, yeah, at the same time, he got to use these rockets to put, I think he's got 8,000 some satellites in a system called Starlink, which is going to provide internet worldwide.
But isn't
Good,
that what he
because they
wants
don't
to
even
put
have it
in
at
our brains?
Six Flags.
Yeah, that's like
they don't have internet at Six Flags.
It goes in and out. You'd think they'd have their own tower, but
well, maybe that's what the big
Maybe
poles
Elon
left
Musk-
over from the sky buckets are going to be.
no, the poles.
Right,
the poles are still there. The lines are gone.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
use the poles
He's
for.
going to run Wi-Fi, but they had to take the sky buckets down. See, you're complaining
Maybe
for
the
no
sky
reason.
buckets were
Now
interfering
everybody
with
can have internet at Six Flags. You can have your dream. Why can't we just have the damn sky buckets and Wi-Fi? It doesn't work that way, Wick.
It doesn't work that way.
Sir. Did you write that in your comment? Like when you left, had an okay time. Sky buckets. Why'd you have to take them down?
Yeah, like in the big book at the end when they want your comments, like you're going out the door.
You just write like 3 paragraphs on sky buckets.
You know what's funny is, you go to Disney World and there's like this whole universe, this like galaxy of hotels and entertainment and restaurants with knights and cowboys that duel and then you come up here and you go to the Six Flags, and there's like there's like the shadiest Motel 6 ever across the street, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then and then God knows what else.
No, it's a different machine.
Yeah, completely. Like
it's they just figured out how to encapsulate everybody into their one city and get all their money.
Yeah, I mean Disney's. I mean, who owns Six Flags? Warner Brothers, I guess.
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Just are beating the shit out of Disney World. I mean, Disney's beating the shit out of Warner in the theme park arena.
I was reading a ranking of the best theme parks, and SeaWorld Orlando was number 1.
What?
Yeah, and this may have been just some writer's opinion. I don't know if he put out a national poll, but like Disney World wasn't even in the top 5.
What was number 2?
I think Busch Gardens was 2.
There's a Busch Gardens
obviously from Tampa, Florida.
There's a Busch Gardens up in
Scott read reviews of Tampa, Florida.
I think Dollywood was in the top 5.
I haven't been to Dollywood in a long time, but it's a lot of standing around and watching a guy hammer a horseshoe.
They just put in like Dollywood. A really nice apparently a really cutting edge roller coaster in Dollywood.
Here is my thing about Dollywood. This is what blows my mind about Dollywood. If somebody had come to you 40 years ago and said,
when I was
that girl,
7,
Dolly? Yeah. Okay. 30.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when Dollywood was around. That's why I'm going so far back. To be honest.
It was definitely in the late 80s because 1989. It was definitely there.
Yeah, it's
so 35 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's say you're watching 9 to 5. Okay, with Jane Fonda, and somebody looks at you and says, "Wick, Scott, can you? I'm going to tell you that girl right there is going to own her own theme park, and it's going to be huge and very popular, and it's going to make a ton of money." Well, I mean, really, you'd have been like, "Whatever." That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The fact that Dolly Parton has an amusement park that is functional, well reviewed, and makes money after all of these years blows my mind. That's the equivalent of somebody telling you now.
Pigeon Forge's a big
Carrie
Underwood's a tourist destination, and it's the only thing that's really there.
And it's going to be like third to the Disney Worlds. You would be like, what? Justin Bieber? Really? No. That to me, the idea of Dollywood blows my mind. Is that not
that she could do that? For some reason, I don't know. With her, it seems like it might make Like if it was anybody, if it was like Reba, well, I could see it with Reba McEntire too. But
I mean, I could see Kenny Rogers having a theme park.
yeah,
I mean, she made a lot of money early on.
North Brooks.
So
I guess she
probably had
financial
financial advisors.
but don't you think country music singers have more like latitude to do that, whereas like a rock band could never do it?
I just think, honestly, I think the success of Dollywood, now this is just a guess, is
Def
based
Leppard
on
Lane.
completely on location. Like the fact that it's in Pigeon Forge, very drivable from a lot of areas in South Carolina.
It's a huge tourist destination.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I just think
That's
the
what I was-
location makes Dollywood probably what it is. Right? I mean, it has to be. People aren't coming for Dolly. I bet there's people who go to Dollywood have no idea who Dolly Parton is. They don't get it. Like young people.
Well, yeah.
A lot of people go to Gatlinburg for vacation in Pigeon Forge, and there's a lot to do there. But there's no big theme park.
Pigeon Forge is amazing, but so here, let me give you an example. Around, I believe, Gatlinburg, is an old theme park that closed down, and it was based on the Wizard of Oz. It was a Wizard of Oz theme park.
Those pictures.
That had a yellow brick road that went through. All these rides were based around Wizard of Oz. How does that fail and Dollywood prevail in the same area? You would think that a Wizard of Oz amusement park would do well. Yeah, I think it's like,
because I know it was like North Carolina.
Maybe it was like I don't really remember. That would be a lie, but I wanted to say I thought it was around like Dahlonega or something weird like that, or Gatlinburg.
It might be Tennessee. I don't remember. I know that it's still there. I don't know that you can just walk up on it, but somebody took pictures of it all grown over, and it was really cool.
Yeah, I think they did a video of breaking in there to walk around. But I mean, think about it. I mean, a Wizard of Oz theme park seems like it does very, very well, right? I mean, in your mind, if somebody tells you they're going to do a Wizard of Oz theme park, you're like, it's probably going to do okay, because it's a movie that's historic. I mean, it's, so many people know Wizard of Oz. And they had the Tin Man, and they had the scare. I mean, you have characters. You're going to have the Wicked Witch that's going to run around scaring kids. You're going to have all these different rides, probably, broom rides, and who knows, the Tin Man's, roller coaster, whatever. It seems like you could, like, if you were telling me right now, can you invest money into this idea for a Wizard of Oz theme park? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I probably would invest in that. Dolly Parton comes in and she's like, hey, I'm going to start an amusement park. I'd be like, get out of here. That's insane. You're not going to start an amusement park. You're not even the most famous person in the world at this point. No, there's no way. But here she is. She has done it, and it blows my mind. Dollywood would be something I will never understand Dollywood and the success.
She's a very well-respected songwriter.
Great songwriter. Yeah.
And there's actually a series coming on Netflix. My dad was an extra in it, where each episode is based on one of her songs and the story behind it.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
Jolene.
Yeah, and he said she was there. She was a producer, and she was there when they were filming it, and they were doing
who's the most
college
famous person right now? Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's even go back a little further where it's easy. Before Michael Jackson had any of the stuff happen, okay? Like, we're talking 80s Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson makes Neverland theme park, okay? Amusement park.
I can see that.
Yeah, Disney.
I see that being successful. And I'm like, hey, I think that works. I think it will be based on his songs. I could see it. I think it works. I think it's not going to be around now.
Like everything can sound like a good idea, but, there could just be bad business model.
But Dollywood
too much overhead.
They were building
like it would have been. I don't know. Dollywood blows my mind, but everybody loves it. Everybody goes, says it's amazing, and I'm like, I guess I gotta go, but at the same time, it just seems so weird to go to an amusement park based on Dolly Parton.
It's not weird. That's the thing, is it's not really about her. It's about life in that area. It's about about how it
clogging.
It's kind of like if you've ever been to Colonial.
How much clogging's going on at Dollywood?
Probably a good.
I've been there
24/7.
But it's like you're walking through, an Appalachian town in 1930.
but
So
you
it's
also
like,
make it somewhat cartoony, like say Disney World does with their
Yeah.
towns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there's no
very
characters
little
built
about
or-
her.
You know what I mean? I guess I get it, what you're saying. It's a cultural thing. But, there's no characters you're building around. Like, even like we said, Six Flags is Warner Brothers. So you're going to have Batman stunt show, and you're going to have the Looney Tunes characters, and you have something that Disney World's going to have all of their animated characters and cars and, Buzz Lightyear running around, all that stuff. It just seems weird to me that Dolly Parton doesn't even have that marketing angle and still is successful. But you know what? You know what used to be the third largest theme park in America, like in the 80s, before Dollywood, was Heritage USA, which was Jim Baker's amusement park. That thing was
I
making
remember
money
that.
out of that money.
Did that
That thing
get
was
built?
making money out of control. What's that?
That got built.
Oh,
yeah, it got built.
Okay,
Yeah.
I remember him
Man, it was making
unveiling
a
the
ton of money.
plans for it.
The problem, of course, was that he paid Jessica Hahn to keep her mouth shut from the money he was making from that. And there was a lot of, surprise, shady business dealings going on where they'd say this building's going to cost $20 million to build, and it really only cost $15 million to build, but they would raise $20 million. And I guess you can understand where the other $5 million went.
Is he still alive?
But
I remember. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Is he out of jail?
He's a survivalist now.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
super
so
weird.
Jim Baker is now he considers himself a prophet, and now his angle is that that God has told him when the end time's coming, and now he sells survivalist supplies and lots in the mountains to build your survival cabin or underground building.
How dumb
That's what he
do
does
you
now.
have to be to think Jim Baker is the guy that is receiving messages from the Lord?
Well, I mean,
of
not only
all
that, but
people.
like, dude. So what does it say if he's been preaching, being saved this whole time, but buy a bucket of survival food? You're basically telling you, buckle in because you're not going anywhere if this happens. So
It's
you might
kind
as
of a
well just
genius
have
move
some
for a
random
psychopath like him, though, if you think about it, because it's the end times. I don't need this money. I'm just going to give it to the prophet.
Well, what they do now is they sell $100 water bottles, and they sell 30 days of food, survival food buckets for like $500, and that's where he makes his money now, is being a survivalist and preaching to people about what they're going to have to do to be prepared when all this stuff happens. Of course, religiously, you're supposed to be saved and all of that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it. But he takes a different approach, which is you're probably not going to go now. All of a sudden, after years of telling you will go.
Okay, that's if you're of that faith, that's what you want to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong. You want Jesus to come back. You want the end times to happen. So why would you try to?
I don't.
No, if you're,
I'm good. I'm good with status quo.
No, but I mean, let's say you're following. If you're following Jim Baker, and the end times are coming, and that the end times mean Jesus Christ will come back to earth, Lord and Savior will come back to earth. Why do you want to survive it? Why do you want to live through it? You want to get raptured
you're
up.
Exactly right.
You want to get raptured up with Jesus.
100%. 100% accurate. Yeah. So it's just such a
none of these people have thought this through.
Well, unless he's saying, hey, look, I'm good. I know a couple of people are good, but some of you listening may not be good. So you may want to buy this $500 30-day supply of food and buy some property in Tennessee that I own so that you can have a place to kind of hang out.
So when the thing that you want more than anything ever happens, you can run away from it.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
He'll tell you everything that's going to happen to you. So he's got the strategic situation laid out. You just have to buy some land in Tennessee to build your underground bunker and buy several of his 30-day supply food buckets at $500.
What's in those?
You're going to probably
buckets?
need God, how many, like 100 of those, right? Just to kind of get through the first couple of months. And it's probably not even 30 days worth of food, really. It's probably just mac and cheese and beans. But yeah, that's his thing. But he had Heritage Park or Heritage USA, and it was really successful. Like the problem that they had was that they would go on TV and they would do their fundraising the same time that senior citizens got their Social Security checks. It was always planned. So they would do the fundraiser when Social Security checks were going out. So they would go on TV, they would raise the money, and they eventually got to the point where they're like, hey, for $1,000, you get one of the suites that you can use for like a week. Like a time. He invented the timeshare. People don't know it, but Jim Baker invented the television, like, commercialized timeshare, because he was like, send me $1,000 and you get one room for a week at the theme park. The problem was that they didn't have enough rooms. So people were sending all this money in to get, I think it was a reasonable donation. So it might've been like what it would cost to be a normal vacation. So maybe like $500, maybe $300 got you like 5 days or something, or like 4 nights or whatever at one of his, rooms on the amusement park grounds. And people were sending their money in like crazy, because they're like, hell, man, $300 we get like 4 nights there. That's perfect. The problem was that when they went to book the room, they were all booked all the time.
That was his undoing.
What kind of crashed him too.
Yeah. Whoa, that I think there were charges brought up. I think that's how they brought the Empire down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, they were after him for a long time, and then they start going through the paperwork, and they start seeing overcharging for buildings being built, raising money. The way money was handled, the donations were handled, a lot of stuff. And then when they were going through the records is when they found the check to Jessica Hahn, and they were like, "What's this for?" And then after more investigating, it came out that he was keeping hush money, because he had a separate account of money that you're not supposed to have. And there was more going on than just
own a
that.
business and just have a separate account for like, oh, well, I'll take a few million from my company and just put it in this account and not report anything. That's where he got really in trouble, because from that little account, well, probably not little, but that big account that nobody knew about, you follow the trails of checks being written, and one of them was to Jessica Hahn, and then that's when that all came out.
There was also a lot more going on with wife swapping and what have you.
Wife swap,
yeah, within the circle.
Tammy Faye Baker was getting swapped.
I don't know if she was involved.
He
in the swapping,
apparently had. So this is. I love the story of how he even got in with Jessica Hahn. So he's telling his buddy, basically, he's another preacher. I'll make it real basic. Hey, you know what? Me and Tammy aren't even sleeping together. Like, I'm not getting any. I'm not getting any, loving at all. I'm about to go crazy. His buddy's like, man, just get you a side girl. And he's like, can that really happen? And he was like, yeah, man, I know a girl that'll probably, do this and do that. She's a big fan of yours. And he flew Jessica Hahn in. Of course, who knows what. I would probably assume that Jessica Hahn's telling the truth, that she didn't really know what was happening, and it just kind of started happening, and she couldn't say anything because she was so in an awkward position. And, he pressed himself on her and got the thing done, and that was a one-time thing. And he was like, yeah, I feel better, man. I feel revigorated and life's good. And then they were like, well, we got to pay her off, and so he paid her off. And then that preacher kind of stabbed him in the back later on and was like, yeah, I set him up with her, and kind of threw him under the bus. But then the whole thing crashed because they couldn't raise money for it. But that at one time was the second or third largest theme park
And then later
America.
she was when did she date Sam Kinison, or she was just in that video?
She
with
was in a
Sam
video.
Kinison? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, she did Playboy too. That hurt her credibility a lot.
Wait, what was she doing in Playboy? Is she
Reading
naked?
the articles. Yeah.
No, she's in it. You
Jessica
said,
Hunt's
right?
been in there like twice, I think. Yeah. She did a Playboy spread, and then was in Sam Kinnison's video for Wild Thing.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah. And so yeah. And then all that came tumbling down. That whole story about them is really interesting, just how they got away with things like. But anyway, the point being is that, if Dollywood could have a large theme park, if Jim Baker could have, I mean, who's to say one's better than the other, truthfully, right? I mean,
Dolly's better.
I mean, they had like weird themes for the Jim Baker thing. To me, it didn't sound like a lot of fun when I was reading about it not too long ago. I was like, man, these rides kind of seem really lame, But I think it was just theme park for Christians to go to, honestly.
I got Jessica Hahn in Playboy.
Yeah,
I thought you said Tammy Faye Baker.
No, just
who would want to?
Yeah. This is why I was in disbelief.
Wait, hold on. Can we pause a minute? Even if you thought it was Tammy Faye Baker, why would you go look for her Playboy spread?
Because I didn't believe it.
The fact you're like, Tammy Faye, I need to go look at this. Oh, God, no, man.
Dude, she looks bad
like
today.
Tammy Faye Baker and Playboy, and Google's like, what?
Who looks bad?
Google alert just went out like, this dude needs to be investigated. He's looking for Tammy Faye Baker nude. No, Jessica Hahn did a Playboy spread, not Tammy.
I didn't believe it.
But Tammy Faye Baker, she I don't know, she kind of got out of it too, though, because she kind of claimed ignorance, and I think there was a lot of ignorance on her part, but I think it was supposed to be that way.
I think she turned out to be a kind of decent person.
She did. She actually, because I did some research on it. She actually was like the first Christian to say, "Hey, all this stuff about homosexuals is ridiculous." Like,
well, didn't she have
her thing was
like a talk show, a daytime talk show?
I don't think after that she did. She might have, but yeah, she was the first person that when the AIDS epidemic happened, she would go visit hospitals, and she really got in with the gay community, like really close at the time. And I think when she died, I mean, one of the last things she talked about was how Christianity is way, way, way over, I guess, too cruel and too opinionated about the gay community. Yeah, too judgmental about the gay community, that's not what we're supposed to do. And so when she did some kind of AIDS benefit or something, it really made her realize that, you can't just say certain people aren't good enough and that they're not good people. And she was really, really embraced by the gay community for a long time because they appreciated what she said.
And
she was
being
sincere. She could have taken she had already taken a lot of heat for a lot of things that happened, and then she was willing to stand on that hill and die on it. And good for her. I mean, I think the religion needs more people like that, really, to be honest with you.
When is that movie coming out?
The Tammy Faye Baker?
Yeah, there's a movie coming out with the Jessica Chastain and
I have no clue.
The old Spider-Man guy.
Toby?
Lou Ferrigno?
No.
Toby Maguire?
It's Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah. Is this a true story?
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno is playing Jim Baker.
It's completely made up story about Tammy Faye Baker.
No, it's a real
no. I mean, like, are you asking who's in the movie, or are you asking?
No,
who is a part of the
Chastain? Jessica Chastain plays Tammy Faye Baker, and I think Andrew Garfield plays. Trailers are already out.
Okay, so I was on the right track.
Yeah, it's done.
Here's an interesting thing too. She ended up marrying the guy who was the crooked. Okay, so he basically was the guy who built all of Heritage USA. He owned the construction company that did all the work. She ended up marrying him, and he's also the guy who was the third party who wrote the check to hide the payment to Jessica Hahn. So I find that always interesting that she ended up marrying the guy who kind of threw her husband under the bus. But anyway, I think it's called The Eyes of Tammy Faye.
Yeah. That's exactly what it's called.
It's either out or coming. It's a 2020. Well, everything's been pushed back. It looks like it was supposed to be out. Oh, is it out right now?
It may be. I just don't know what it's streaming on.
Because people are rating it. It says it's at the movie theater, but it looks selected theaters.
Yeah, it's probably a limited release.
Because if I hit on Showtimes, it gives me Showtimes. So I guess it's at the theater now. Go see it.
A lot of people like to rate things before they see it.
Yeah, it's really strange.
Yeah, 1 star. Oh my God, this looks so stupid. I'm never going to watch this. I really I wish I could respond to some of these people.
Yeah, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It looks like it's in theaters. I think it's funny too because apparently she thought she was a really great singer and was trying to get a record deal, and everybody was pretty much like, "No, you're not really that good of a singer. Sorry, we can't give you a record deal. That's reserved for people who actually have talent."
Well, if she had done full nudity in Playboy, she'd probably get that contract.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, if she had.
Yeah, God, I can't. It's just the speed of which Scott.
Huh?
It's just the speed of which Scott you went and looked for Tammy Faye naked was beyond all. It's like I've never seen you react this fast on this show until Tammy Faye Baker mentioned as possibly be a Playboy. Oh my God, I got to see this. She's hot. She's pretty smoking in her younger days, man. Okay,
she probably was.
Maybe she was. Anyway, well, you guys got anything to finish up with? I think we found a nice stopping point.
No, I can't think of anything. I missed. I
hope you guys
have the sky buckets.
Miss the sky buckets.
I would like to share the sky bucket and a bong with Urban Meyer.
Oh, there you go. Shirtless.
Shirtless.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Videotaped. But tell him that you're only making a phone call. Yeah. What's that red button? Nothing. Don't worry about it. Just making a call. Just calling somebody. Don't worry about it. Phones.
What's the lighting rig for? Nothing.
Why is there a crew?
Like the sky bucket.
That's this guy putting makeup on me.
I got a crew on one side, and the sky bucket's just doing
like 7 people, and a guy with a boom mic. Don't worry about him. Oh, David.
No.
David.
These are cellular towers now.
Yeah. David's just working with the Wi-Fi company to make sure that there's Wi-Fi in the park. Don't worry about it. It's like, he got his headphones on.
He somehow believes it all.
Okay.
He gets high and he's like, "Hey, let's go get some chicks, man, at the carnival area. There's some pretty hot looking ladies over there. Let's go chase some tail."
You get on the Monster Meyer. You get on the Monster Plantation, and Urban Meyer's trying to make out with you as you go into the swamp.
Or Medusa.
No, don't go there. Oh man, Urban's gonna be the butt of a lot of jokes. Anyway,
I'd love to see a kid actually jump out of the boat and stand over there. And he said, "Don't go in there, y'all." Where are you going?
Where are you guys going? Where are you going? Stop the boat! Stop the boat!
Didn't you hear the sheriff?
Did you not hear? Did you not hear Sheriff Pig?
Wouldn't it be hilarious to get on the Six Flags Plantation or the Monster Plantation ride, get to that point, and then just flip the out when it comes down to the wrong turn? Just be like, "Hey, whoa, what's going on? What kind of shenanigans are going on over here? I'm not going in that swamp. Are you kidding me?"
And
stop the ride now.
And what kind of sheriff just stands there and yells at you? I mean, he's He's 2 feet from you. He could just reach out and stop the boat.
Hey, listen, don't go
Isn't
down
he
there.
like
Those people,
his car's like stuck in the mud?
I think so.
yeah, the Volkswagen. Yeah. He's like, hey, don't go down there. But if you're okay, oh well. All right. Well, y'all be careful because they'll kill
Why
you.
is the sheriff driving around the swamp in the middle of the night?
Isn't that when the eagle comes down? Like right when you're going in?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the sheriff is probably burying a body in the well.
Yeah, I think so.
That's probably what he's doing in the
Yeah.
plantation, that monster plantation. Oh my God. People in South America are like, I don't get this. All right. Let's jet out of here. Good
Go
show,
Braves.
guys.
Yeah.
Go Braves. Did the Falcons
won today? Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
That's good, man.
Go
Cowboys
Braves.
look good.
Falcons,
really
yeah,
good
whatever.
today. Matt Ryan looked good today. Everybody played their role today really well. Because I got up early and actually watched it. Patterson looked good.
Really early, wasn't it?
Yeah, because of course I had fantasy implications on the line. I had to stick Cordell Patterson in my running back spot. So yeah,
I just lost a running back in this game.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Huh? Oh
Clyde
yeah.
Edwards-Helaire. Did
he hurt his knee. I have no running backs, but I have like badass receivers. And I have Tom Brady. And I've scored more points than anybody in my league without
Tom
any
Brady
running
had
back.
a freaking field day today. He was like 400 something yards, like 4 touchdowns today, 5. Unbelievable.
He had 5 touchdowns, 411 yards.
Greatest quarterback to ever live. Greatest of all time. All right. Luke hates it. All right. Guys, I had fun. See you guys next week. We'll come up with something interesting to or not interesting to tell you. This is pretty much the show about nothing. So if you like us, tell your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourself. All right, everybody. Hope you had a great week. Hope you have a great week. We'll see you next week. Say bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. See everybody next week.
See
Good night.
We have to actually log off. Okay. All right.